Before we get into JD Vance, I have a bone to pick with you people. Over the weekend, I tried to celebrate George Washington. And you people repeatedly called me Captain Crunch. I'm going to deal with y'all tomorrow on Hump Wednesday. It's going to be wild tomorrow. We may even call it Trump Wednesday. All right, JD Vance, he is possibly going to be a heartbeat away from being the president. And Trump's a little bit older, and I think it's a real concern, or at least something to think about. What's his opinion on guns? How are people responding to this? And stay with me. The very last thing today, I've got my favorite meme that came out last night about JD Vance. I love it. It's going to be fun. Buckle up. Here we go. Next, Trump names Ohio Senator JD Vance as his vice presidential pick. Kramer says, I don't know who this JD Vance is, and frankly, it sounds made up. Yeah, a lot of folks, they don't know who he is. I'm doing my homework, getting caught up. It took me a minute yesterday. My son goes, hey, it's JD Vance. And I went, who? And he goes, Hillbilly Elegy. He's the Ohio guy. I was like, oh, yeah. Marine and a really solid guy in a lot of ways. Next, this is a lot of people. Who's JD Vance? You have a lot to learn about this town, sweetie. It's pretty good. People are walking through it. They're walking through his beliefs. You're going to hear some of the same rhetoric today over and over that he called Trump Hitler. The question of the day is, do you give people room to change, to shift, to move their beliefs? Jared has been covering this pretty clear. He talked about it on the Liberty Lounge podcast and on his channel a little bit yesterday, how Trump has changed after all of the massive pushback during his first term. He has changed and shifted his beliefs a little bit in the Second Amendment. Everytown, yes, that Everytown. They posted this last night. Donald Trump has announced his pick for vice president. Here's what you need to know about JD Vance's failed record on gun safety. I love it. If Everytown is saying that you have a failed record, the thumb is starting to go up for me. Trump's VP pick called gun violence fake problems, opposes expanded background checks and red flag laws, supports arming teachers, advocated to abolish the federal agency that enforces gun laws, and took nearly $500,000 from the NRA for his 22 Senate campaign. Senior Chain, go.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, and Coleon jumped in on this. Coleon said this, where's the problem? There's no problem here, not at all. I think that's great. That is a good start in the right direction. This morning, Katie Hopkins, if you don't know her, she's an interesting pundit from across the pond. I think she lives here now. I don't know a lot about her, but I follow her, and you can check that out. She talks a little bit about people changing, and she also says it is genius that Trump chose a never-Trumper, because that shows a lot of change and shift and an evolution of ideology. I think it's interesting. Y'all can check that out. The GOA posted this. They said this last night. Trump's vice presidential pick is a patriot with a perfect voting record on the Second Amendment since becoming elected to the U.S. Senate's clapping emoji. GOA, man, GOA gets a huge thumbs up from me. Y'all know that. And that's what they said. They also said this. They posted that video where JD Vance says, why don't we just get rid of the ATF? Just get rid of it. I like it. I'll allow it. I think that is fantastic. Obviously, the dude is a Marine, and he is a gun owner. Check this out. This is from his page, his feed last year. I don't know if the pick is going to be quality enough, but when you zoom in on that rifle, check it out. It is a CMMG, and that's perfect for today. This episode is brought to you by CMMG. That's what he's holding right there. I can't tell you where to go, but I can say when you get there, you might consider, at least what I did. I chose my favorite color. I chose the favorite caliber and what I wanted for the job that I was planning for, and I chose the length, the size, side charging, traditional charging. It's perfect. It works out great when you get over there, and you can use that coupon code. I really like that place. Check that out, CMMG. You people, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I'm still a little not happy with y'all. Thank you for every thumbs up regardless. Y'all are amazing. To the B, next, JD Vance horrified to learn he must now use Truth Social. How do y'all feel about Truth Social? I don't have an account. I may have an account there, but I don't use it regularly. But he's horrified. All right, the left is melting down next. They're like, hey, J.D. Vance's wife is Indian, by the way. Randy's like, well, she has more European blood, physiognomy. I'm from Appalachia. Work with me. Her bloodline is probably a mix of early Macedonian invasion. The left is a virus. They will hate anything they come in contact with them that doesn't toe the rope of their psychopathic ideology. Next. Holy smokes, how wild is it? This is hard-hitting news from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal says this: J.D. Vance, who was announced as Trump's vice presidential pick, is the first major vice presidential or presidential candidate in nearly a century to have facial hair. Former Vice President Al Gore grew a beard, but only after leaving office. Nobody in 100 years has had any facial hair. How about that? That's interesting. How about that? Does it matter? I don't know. I think it's a sign of the times changing. There is a metric or a graphic where you can, a computer can look at a candidate's hairline and tell you the chance of them ever becoming in office, electable. That's interesting. First in a century to have facial hair. Sign of the times. Kind of where we're headed. Next, here's a quote by J.D. Vance. I think we have to ask ourselves, what is the real gun violence problem in this country? And are we legislating in a way that solves fake problems or solves real problems? Fantastic. One of the pushbacks, separate issue to climate change and all that nonsense, is that we are legislating for solutions. If there is a problem, we are legislating for solutions that have nothing to do with the problem that they say exists. Get them, Greta.
How dare you?
All right, next. Y'all know this. The left can't meme. They can't meme. Their memes are awful. That's a rule. They cannot meme. This is one that came in from the left last night. I go back. It's a quote from J.D. Vance. I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical a-hole like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. How's that for discouraging? Also, J.D. Vance, yay, I'm Hitler's fave. No, I don't think A, that's not that great of a meme, and B, I don't think that's what he's saying at all. The left can't meme. Next. This is from the Washington Post. Interesting. I haven't chased this a whole lot. J.D. Vance's pick unnerves GOP's business elite and thrills populists. Subtitle: The Ohio senator leads a GOP faction sharply breaking with party ideology on free markets, trade, and other policies. So people are kind of walking through what he believes. They're saying that GOP is getting unnerved. Here's another one that came in. This is from Jeff Stein. He says this: hearing a lot of alarm today among GOP donors and Reaganite conservative types about J.D. Vance. Laura Ingram responded, ha. She's loving it. She's absolutely loving it. Let me jump over to a little bit about him. This is from his Wikipedia, which has been pretty well documented. Underneath it, it's got all the sources and the resources. I know a lot of y'all don't like Wikipedia, but when things are being updated in real time, you can get some good information. He personally opposes same-sex marriage, though he has said he does not want to reopen the debate. He is in favor of banning pornography. Vance has been considered a maverick from Republican orthodoxy on economics, supporting increases for certain taxes on university endowments and corporate mergers, and for the minimum wage, unionization, tariffs, and antitrust policy, and has opposed continued American military aid in Ukraine. Interesting. People are sorting through his ideology. What do you think about this pick? What do you think about Trump picking this guy? I felt like, I know some people said it was coming a couple weeks ago, and people saw it coming. A few did. But as far as his ideology, super interesting. Again, a heartbeat, little bit of an older guy with Trump, a heartbeat away potentially of being the president. Can the left meme? No. Next, David says this: biggest downgrade ever. I didn't click his name, but $50 says he has pronouns in his bio. I think so. All right, up next, my favorite meme that came out last night. Again, what do you think about this? And finally, tomorrow is going to be a special Hump Wednesday. Gonna have a blast on there. Are you ready? Next, Being Libertarian says this. Congratulations, J.D. Vance, on becoming the Republican Party VP candidate. I love it. Drama llama go.
Woo! Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
This gun fits my hand better than this one does.
Diabetes.